Labor has broken their promise to reform our environmental laws. Under the existing laws, hundreds of fossil fuel projects have been approved, millions of hectares of critical habitat have been cleared, record numbers of species have been added to the threatened list. That's patently not environmental protection. Instead, Labor has listened only to their mates, their generous donors in the fossil fuel industry, and delayed these crucial reforms. Environmental protection can wait, but if you're a fossil fuel company, Labor won't hesitate to act on your directives. Instead of actually, practically, directly reforming our environmental laws, we get this damp squib, this wet blanket set of bills that's designed to do nothing more than placate those who have been fighting for decades for better environmental protection. This agency will be a glorified department that'll be enforcing the same set of laws that we already know are completely inadequate. This is nothing less than a betrayal of the environment, of threatened species and of the millions of Australians who voted for climate action and environmental protection. And it's not just the Greens who are critical of this disastrous decision to delay environmental law reform. It's the Australian Conservation Foundation, who said they were frustrated and deeply disappointed. It's the Wilderness Society, who said the proposed EPA lacks the independence and integrity needed to shield development and environmental decision-making from undue influence by vested interests. What these groups know is that Labor's EPA bill won't save our wildlife, it won't stop native forest logging, it won't stop the expansion of climate-wrecking coal and gas mines. So who does approve of these reforms? No prizes for guessing. It's the mining industry. It's the gas industry. The Chamber of Minerals and Energy of WA called it better for business's objectives. The Minerals Council of Australia love that the new laws contain a ministerial veto because, of course, that means they can use their influence to get decisions they don't like overturned. In my electorate of Ryan, which is so blessed with large areas of bushland, beautiful creekways and wildlife, there are many active volunteer environmental groups working tirelessly to preserve, nurture and restore our precious natural environments. It's an uphill battle, though, while this government continues to cause the climate change that is cooking our planet and destroying nature, while it willfully embraces the gas cartels, letting the likes of Santos and Woodside virtually write their environmental policies and announcing more gas exploration despite the looming climate catastrophe. This is not a transition to net zero, as they claim. It's a transition to climate disaster and the devastation of our natural environments and systems. This legislation does absolutely nothing to address that catastrophic outcome. So happy World Environment Day for yesterday, everybody, but it's hard to celebrate that when we are on track for 2.5 to 3 degrees of warming. This means that the world as we know it will be unimaginably changed. We'll have more frequent and intense floods and droughts that will cause major environmental damage. This dystopian vision is not hyperbole. This is what our eminent scientists are telling us. Is this government a government that promised climate action, either so ignorant or so uncaring or simply so beholden to their mates in the fossil fuel industry that they're comprehensively selling out that future for our children and grandchildren? The independent review into the EPBC Act by Professor Graham Samuel from way back in 2020 contained 38 recommendations. The need for reform is urgent. It's very clear that the delay in acting on these recommendations is not about finessing the final legislation, but about Labor yet again bowing to the fossil fuel lobby. The Samuel review was also highly critical of the existing Act, and I quote, not fulfilling its objectives as they relate to the role of Indigenous Australians in protecting and conserving biodiversity, working in partnership with and promoting the respectful use of their knowledge. Additionally, the review noted a culture of tokenism and symbolism, meaning that the views of First Nations people over their own land and the knowledge of them, of their own land, are not being incorporated. First Nations people are entitled to expect stronger protections of cultural heritage and the incorporation of their knowledge into management practices. So here we have a bill that is an environmental protection smokescreen. Again, this is Labor putting up legislation to give the impression of doing something. Smoke mirrors a vibe. Tragically, though, it does nothing to avert the cascading crises of species extinction, habitat destruction and climate catastrophe exacerbated by Labor's inaction. For these reasons, the Greens will oppose this bill in the House. We will reserve our position in the Senate and await the findings of the Senate inquiry into this bill.
Authorised by E. Watson Brown, Australian Greens, Taringa.